Hi, and welcome to Cloudasta. In this video, you will learn how to migrate your users' email, calendar, and contact data from Microsoft Exchange Online to Google Workspace using the new data migration tool available in admin.google.com. This free tool allows you to migrate up to 250 users at a time. However, if you have more than 1,000 users, Google recommends using a different tool. Check out our migration product matrix video to decide which solution is best for your specific needs. To understand exactly what data will and won't be copied, let's walk through Google's official documentation. For email, the tool migrates your messages, including drafts and sent items. A key point is that your folders and subfolders will be converted into Gmail labels. Attachments are included unless they are larger than 25 megabytes. The tool also preserves the read and unread status of your messages. For calendars, the tool migrates your primary and additional calendars, along with all events, recurring meetings, and attendees. For contacts, the tool migrates all your personal contacts, including their phone numbers and details. It also migrates your contact folders and categories, which become labels in Google Contacts. Understanding what is not migrated is just as important. Make sure you check Google's documentation to find the details of what is not migrated. There, you will also find the latest information about the supported and unsupported data. You can find a direct link in the video description. To complete your full migration, check out our other videos on the channel to learn how to migrate your files from OneDrive and SharePoint and your Microsoft Teams data. You can find the links to our other migration videos in the description. Let's cover the prerequisites. You'll need to be a super administrator in Google Workspace and a global administrator in your Microsoft account. In your new Google Workspace account, you must ensure that all user accounts have been created and assigned a license. You also need to confirm that the Gmail and calendar services are turned on for everyone. Before we start, let's look at our source account. Here in Outlook, you can see our users' email folders and calendar events. We also have a list of personal contacts in the People tab. Our goal is to see all of these appear correctly in Google Workspace. Let's begin. In your Google Workspace admin console on the left menu, navigate to Data, Data Import and Export, then Data Migration. Find the Microsoft Exchange Online tool and click Migrate. As the first step, you will now be prompted to connect to your Microsoft account. Sign in using your global administrator credentials to authorize the connection between the two services. The next step depends on the size of your team. The tool has two different workflows: an automatic process for teams with 20 users or less, and the classic CSV method for larger migrations. We'll cover both, starting with the simple one. If you have 20 or fewer users, the migration service is smart enough to find and map your users automatically. It matches similar email addresses. You need to carefully review these suggested mappings. For most users, it will be correct. If the tool couldn't find a match for a user, you can manually add their new Google Workspace address. It's also important to uncheck the box for any user you do not want to migrate. Once you're happy with all the mappings, click Save Changes. If you have more than 20 users, you'll use the classic CSV upload method. This is the best way to handle migrations in bulk. You can add up to 250 people to this list. To avoid errors, you can download the sample CSV file. The file has two columns: Source Exchange email for the old Microsoft address and Target G user for the new Google Workspace address. Once your file is ready, save it and upload it to the corresponding section. Now, you can configure the migration settings. Choose if you want to migrate email, calendar events, and contacts. You can also select a start date to only migrate items created after that date. There are also optional settings to include deleted or junk mail, or to exclude specific folders from the migration. Next, you can manage calendar events and contacts for non-migrated users. This setting is for event invitees who aren't part of your main user list. This could include guests from outside your organization, or even users you plan to migrate at a later date. By adding them here, you ensure their information is correctly mapped in the migrated calendar events. Moving on, this final checkbox lets you decide what happens if the service finds additional unexpected users during the migration. By checking it, you tell the tool to copy their addresses over. You can then choose to either keep their original domain name or map them to a different one from the list. Once you're ready, click Start Migration. The migration will now begin. You can monitor the real-time progress for each user directly from this dashboard, which shows how many items have been discovered, migrated, skipped, or failed. After the initial transfer is complete, it's very important to run a Delta migration. This will copy over any new emails, calendar events, or contacts that were received in the old Microsoft accounts, while the first migration was running, ensuring no data is left behind. You can also export the migration report and the user report to examine all the migration logs. Before we finish, let's cover a few common issues to ensure your migration is a success. First, if you're migrating more than 20 users with a CSV file, the number one cause of user not found errors is a hidden space. When you copy and paste email addresses into your spreadsheet, make sure there are no accidental spaces before or after the email addresses. Another case is failed items. Don't worry, this can happen with very large emails or corrupted calendar events. If this happens, run the migration for that single user one more time. The tool will try again, and in most cases, it will successfully copy the remaining items on the second pass. Now that the migration is complete, let's look at the results in Google Workspace. Here in Gmail, you can see that all of our users' emails have been successfully migrated. Also, your folders from Outlook have been converted into Gmail labels. The hierarchy is preserved, so your subfolders become nested labels. Next, let's check the calendar. As you can see, all of the events we started with have been copied over successfully, including the details and the recurring weekly meeting. And finally, let's check Google Contacts. As you can see, the user's personal contact list has been successfully migrated, with phone numbers and details preserved. Now, the last thing you need to know is that you can do this DIY migration and still have support from experts for free. If you haven't created a Google Workspace account yet, go to gws.cloudasta.com to get started with a free trial. And if you already have one, transfer your licenses to Cloudasta before you start the migration. And that's it. This is how you copy your users' email, calendar, and contact data from Exchange Online to Google Workspace using the new data migration tool available for free in admin.google.com.